ProStock Podcast, livestock industry advice from the experts.
Welcome to the Prostock Podcast, our first one of the type, and today it's myself, Scott Endersby, the business manager of Prostock, and Clint Endersby, my brother, the national livestock manager for Prostock. Today is just going to be just a general chit-chat about key questions that we get asked in the marketplace, and our Prostock Podcast is just going to be focusing on different issues and different things that are happening in the marketplace that we think need to be spoken about, or things that get asked to us constantly that we can sort of put out there for people to refer to and relate to, and sort of get some information that, you know, they may not have access to all the time. So today we're going to really just focus in on some key questions that we're getting asked in the field constantly, and hopefully this will give you some information to make some decisions on. In general though, the advice we're giving is general and not to be specific to you. So anyway, Clint and I are here, and the main question that we're getting asked at the moment every time we turn up to a place is what's happening in the market and are we at the top? And really I'll put that over to Clint to give his opinion on what he thinks is happening in the market, and have we seen the top of it, or are we still going to see a little bit more?
And the answer to that is, I suppose, being as we're as dear as it's ever been, whether it can go any dearer is yet to be seen. To think it could get any dearer would be a pretty bold statement. However, we probably didn't think it was going to get to where it is now. So the whole price at the moment is driven by grass. So while it keeps on raining, anything can happen from here, I suppose.
Do we think the supply's there though, in general? Like I think it's supply and demand driven too. I don't think the cattle are out there, or sheep are out there in numbers, which is going to help push the price up. Not that I'm saying the price is going to go up, but that's what's caused the price to move.
Yeah, the demand's only driven by the grass at the moment, which is the issue. So and at the end of the day, they're all bred for meat, so we've got to get back to some sort of sustainability for the processors to be able to continue to do the high numbers. If they get too much dearer, that's where something has to move, whether that the other end goes up or whether our end comes back. Look, the demand out there at the moment seems to be pretty good, even considering everything that's going on around the world. The demand's there. Whether we outprice ourselves as in Australia with the rest of the world is a little bit of the concern at the moment, but at the moment, driven by grass, so that's where we're heading. Yeah,
so and then generally that leads into the next question that we have, is that we're talking about the price being as high as it is, and that then they sort of say, well, what should we do? Should I buy, or should I hold, or should I do nothing, or should I sell what I've got? And that's really, with the market being as hot as it is, people are really unsure and not quite sure what to do. And, our clients are constantly referring to us, asking us, what should I do?
Yeah, and every client, I suppose, got a different structure in their business and how they want to work it. Some clients who want to turn over once a year, I suppose at the moment there seems to be a lot of focus on trying to keep the dollars per head down as low as we can, which pushes the price per kilo up. Not a lot of light cattle because everyone's had a good season, so our light cattle are hard to find. Other models, if you're a bit quicker turnover, you can spend a few more dollars per head and keep the cents per kilo down. And at the moment, with the job so high, it's probably not a bad option just to be in and out in a shorter time frame. But especially the supply for those cattle are going to be, for those little cattle, the supply is going to be short and they're going to remain dear for a while. I can't see much movement in them until next spring rolls around, especially in our local area around here. Most of our weaners are gone, so we're waiting on the next batch of calves, which are only just getting born now, before we'll see any sort of flush of numbers.
And so do you think we should be looking at maybe short-term trades, of course, but then with the market where it is, do people look at going back into breeding that might have been trading?
If they can. If people, cows and calves and pregnant cows are still a good option. If some people that have been going into trading steers and trading, just all in and all out once a year, it will be tough, I think, for the next, could be for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I think the breeders will come back into being able to make a pretty good income off their properties. Just our cow numbers are down, so the more cows we can get out there, the better at the moment.
And I suppose if you're looking at calving down or buying cows and calves, I mean, that's a trade that hasn't always been looked at as well. Instead of buying a heifer or a steer, buying a cow and calf unit, you can still trade them. You don't have to breed them again, do you?
No, there's a lot of options out there, and sometimes we get stuck going down one path because it's worked in the past, and we just want to see it work all the time. But yeah, there's definitely other options than just buying a little Angus steer and putting in the paddock and selling him in 12 months' time. However, when the job is dear, although everyone wants to keep dollars per head out of it, the biggest thing is still making sure we stick to a bit of quality, and quality always pays off. It's always easy to sell at the end of the day, even if it does cost you a little bit more at the start. It always pays off.
Right, and they perform better in the paddock with quality, don't they? It comes down to breeding again.
At the end of the day, we always sell kilos, and if you buy something with a bit of breeding, you're going to stack more kilos into it, and it doesn't matter what type of animal it is. Once we get to the very end of, once we get to the end of the cycle, it's all about kilos that go through to the processors, and that's what we get paid on. So putting as many kilos into them as we can is probably the optimum result.
Yeah, and that comes back into breeding with breeding quality too. I mean, this time of year we're now into the beef week and into the field days with bull sales coming up, and if people are looking at buying bulls, they really need to start focusing on where they're going to buy from and what they're going to buy. And, I think they need to try and get some advice too, don't they? So they can get quality, which gives them a return in the paddock, doesn't it?
Yeah. If they're going to head down get a lot of clients will go and show up at a bull sale, and they may have researched that one bull sale, but they go there, whether it be out of reputation or... but it doesn't hurt just to come out, have a chat to whoever your local agent is, or just whoever normally sells your stock, because there could be a bull more suited to your cows, or you might be just something. It doesn't hurt to get a fresh set of eyes to just give you get another opinion on what you think you might need.
And to try and focus on what market you're trying to achieve too. I mean, that bulls perform differently for different things, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not just a matter of finding the best bull on figures, it's going to be the best bull for your business as well, which can be something completely different to what you think in some cases.
Yeah.
So in general though, we're seeing that the industry is in quite good stead, and we're seeing good prices, and we're seeing record prices, and it's good to be in the industry right now in the ag sector, and we've performed quite well through COVID and everything. My personal opinion is that I think we're probably in one of the once in a lifetime time periods in the industry where we're seeing record highs. We've seen massive growth. Cattle have doubled in price in the last 12 months or 18 months. They've doubled in price, which hasn't happened for the last 50 years. We may never see this sort of price growth again, and a correction will come, because at the end of the day we do sell a commodity, and it's just about trying to offset your risk, isn't it, in your paddock?
Yeah, everything's going along pretty well, whether it be beef or sheep and lamb, and there's a demand there for, I suppose there's a demand there for food in general throughout the whole world, so, but agriculture in general is in a good spot. Yeah.
So hopefully that will help you out and give you some information. I hope you enjoy this little podcast, and if you like it, please hit subscribe and follow it. And also too, if you've got questions that you want us to try and answer, we're more than happy to get some feedback and answer some questions and follow some topics that you may want to hear about. But if you have any questions, just contact your local agent, give us a call here at ProStock, and we're happy to try and help you and point you in the right direction. So So thanks again, and we'll talk to you next time.